You've seen the schedule. So let's not waste each other's time here, because we don't have a lot of time doing the hard stuff that we need to do to get to where we want to go. This is about winning. It's about winning the world championship, period.
It's time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones alongside Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy inside the Globe Life studio here at the Star in Frisco as the Cowboys get set to take on the Carolina Panthers. A noon kickoff at AT&T Stadium after a big win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's start by talking about these Panthers a little bit, Coach. Matt Rule's done a fine job in his second year there, unbeaten 3-0 coming into this one. What are you impressed with the most about the Panthers?
I think the biggest thing that jumps off the film is their energy. I mean, they're playing hard. They're young. You can see they're doing a lot schematically, but they're really flying around. So this is going to be a great contest. New game. Noon games are always fun. Get up and get going. So love the energy Monday night at AT&T. So we need it again. It's just a great atmosphere.
Now, sometimes for the fans, it's hard to get that energy generated early in the day on a Sunday like it was on Monday night. But there was great energy on Monday night. And let's start with your defense, because there was a lot of that energy was generated by young guys on your defense. Here's the guy I want to start with, Osa Odighizuwa, third-round draft pick, number 97. He leaped off the screen for anyone watching on television. And for a young guy in his third game in the NFL, it was very impressive what he did on Monday night.
I mean, extremely impressive. I mean, you look at his position flexibility. It started in training camp where he won the starting job and sub as the interior three technique rush guy. But he's fun to watch. He's very disciplined, very mature beyond his years, but just playing at a high level for a young guy. Had a big day, big night against Philadelphia. But just love the way he goes about it. Very serious. Always has very serious about his regiment, but always has a smile on his face, brings great energy to work.
I bet you this is something you like about any player on your team, but especially a defensive lineman, a three-time state champion wrestler in high school, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's got them 35-inch arms there. So he has a very bright future. He's off to a great start. Really like that whole rookie class, but Osa has just really jumped to the front of the line.
All right, and how about your second-year class? And then let's talk Trayvon Diggs here. He is playing with such confidence. Of course, he was able to get the pick six to start the second half, but made so many plays in that game. They talk about the leap from the first year to a second year, especially for him not having an offseason last year and what he's able to do this year. He's playing with so much confidence right now.
Trey's definitely playing with super confidence. So, he had so many great moments last year as a rookie, but when you're looking at the second-year player, he has taken the jump. He's had big assignments, all 3 weeks, and has answered the bell in big fashion. I mean, the pick six was a huge play in the game. It was a great momentum play for us, obviously. Put us out in front to stay in front too. After that, but just his breaks on the ball, his physicality, his competitiveness. I mean, his hand-eye coordination. I mean, this guy, when he breaks on the ball, it's his football. So off to a super start. And
against his Panthers offense, Sam Darnold has found a place to his liking there in Carolina, and he's taking care of the football. One of the big traits he has, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looks really good in the pocket. Actually, looks good out of the pocket. He's playing very well. He's obviously had a lot of learning, experiences up there in New York, but seems very comfortable in this offense. So, they're 3-0. That they've done a really good job managing the game, both run and pass. But I've been very impressed with Sam.
All right, we continue the Mike McCarthy Show in just a moment. David Moore, the Dallas Morning News, joins the show.
As a player, it's all about growth, and I feel like I'm growing and I'm learning. So I'm just trying to keep growing and just reach the highest level I can.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, Ford. Built for Texas, built for you. The University of North Texas, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, an NRG company. This segment is brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage.
The only thing Other than that, I've got to say, how about them Cowboys?
Yes, one of the highlights of Monday night, Jimmy Johnson. And now one of the highlights of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Inside the Globe Life studio is David Moore of the Dallas Morning News. How are you, David?
I don't know if Mike would consider this one of the highlights of the Mike McCarthy Show.
I know Mike would not consider this one of the highlights of the Mike McCarthy Show. But Jimmy was there the other day, and once upon a time, Jimmy wrote a book or co-authored a book called Turning the Thing Around. And so my question to you, how close is Mike McCarthy to turning this thing around?
Well, I think you're starting to see some traction and some evidence that they are getting there. Not just the way they beat Philadelphia, but that's pushed them 2-1 on the season. And you can say, well, that's a modest record, and yeah, but you go back, it's the first time this team has been over 500 during Mike McCarthy's brief tenure, which is now 19 games. And as a franchise, you actually have to go back to November of 2019 to find the last time this team was over 500. So I think there's been a frustration. It's kind of been like a cork bobbing on the ocean. They've been right around 500, but can't get much above it. And then you know what happened last year when things kind of unraveled a bit. So I think clearly now they've built to a spot with 2 home games coming up that, okay, we can get a little cushion here. We can regain that confidence that has been seeping away over the last season and a half. And I think a lot of the principles and the things that Mike McCarthy has told the players are important to do, you're starting to see them take root early in this season. Speaking
of things unraveling last season, one of the things that happened last season we're starting to really see the fruit of, a positive thing, was Dalton Schultz, who had 63 catches last year. Of course, 2 touchdown grabs the other night, and he has really taken advantage of his opportunity last year and has emerged as a go-to receiver on this team now. Yeah, and this was, going into last season, and we're not going to go through everything that went wrong last season, but going in, the focus was on Blake Jarwin, the contract, the deep, big play threat he gave you. He's injured early, and then it's, okay, well, here's Dalton. Let's see what he can do. And I think he exceeded expectations of a lot of people. In fact, Mike McCarthy was saying the other day he didn't know a whole lot about Dalton Schultz coming in. Knew a little bit about him, but has been really impressed with just his knowledge of the game, how he's improved as a receiver, and he's, I would say, a little bit more than a willing blocker. I think he's pretty good at that as well. Yep, and it adds another dimension to this Cowboys offense and from the 2 tight end sets too, where you get 2 tight ends who can catch the football. Exactly, and it's essential because teams are going to take away Elliott, they're going to take away one of the receivers that they can and bracket the other. So there are going to be plenty of opportunities for the tight ends in this offense the way it's currently constructed. All right, David Moore, the Dallas Morning News. We appreciate it. And up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, we go behind enemy lines in the film room.
This segment was brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage. This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones here in the film room now, joined by Will McClay as we take an up-close look at these Carolina Panthers. How about we start with one of those edge rushers, Brian Burns?
Yeah, Carolina leads the league in sacks right now, and it starts with their edge pressure. We're going to take a look at Brian Burns. He's in his 3rd year. He's got 20 sacks already. So we're going to look at, he's not only size, speed, and athleticism, but also intelligence. Here, okay, we're going to see him here. He's going to run an edge rush. He's going to think he's going to get a chip by the back, so he's going to power. But the key is hand use and then flipping his hands. It's not a sack, but he makes the quarterback move, and then the speed to chase him down with 4 or 5 speed.
All right, and so he's impacting the play there. Now they move him to the other side over here.
They're going to move him to the other side. Now what they do is they're going to run a game here. 90's going to cover him up. He's going to set the offensive lineman outside and then use speed with this incredible inside spin move. But now 90 is going to occupy the blocker here. All right, you'll see 90 occupy the guard. You only make that move not knowing you're going to get something to the inside, occupies the blocker, makes the ball come out fast.
How about on offense and their primary receiver, DJ Moore?
DJ Moore, very talented receiver. Now we're going to show him against press here. The DB has outside leverage. They're running a cover 3, kind of a little fire zone, but he's going to attack the leverage, and he's still going to beat him to the outside, not giving the safety a chance. Sets him to the inside. DB thinks he's comfortable. You'll see it here. He sets him to the inside. Boom. Now he goes over the top, and a great throw by the quarterback, and then a catch, tracking the ball for an explosive play.
Just another example of why he's one of the leading receivers in the entire league right now through 3 games.
Last 2 years, he's had over 1,000 yards receiving. Now we're going to take a look at him against press here again. Now he's going to run a slant on the inside. He's going to set the DB to the outside, and he's 215 pounds. Watch his strength in his hand use, and then the run after the catch. Okay, you got motion there. He's going to set the DB outside on the snap, sets him outside, uses his hands, gets across his face, then he makes a strong hands catch, and then it's the run after the catch that we have to contend with as well.
And a big reason Sam Darnold has found a pretty good new home for him in Carolina. Will, I appreciate it. And now let's take a trip inside the locker room, hear what the players are having to say.
Sam's been playing good this year, so, you know, he looks totally different than when he did when he was in New York. So, you know, we're going out there and try to, you know, have a lot of give him a lot of things to see. He's going to see a lot of different looks from us, and, you know, we're going to just go out there and, you know, play our best ball.
I mean, they do a really good job on early downs, getting other teams behind the chains. So, I mean, I think that's probably one of the main focal points for us this week is just making sure we stay ahead of the chains, making sure we're getting positive plays on 1st and 2nd down to put us in good situations on 3rd down.
And now I'm joined by Isaiah Stanback to take a look at this Carolina defense and defensive coordinator Phil Snow. You know him from way back your days in college at Washington. Huh?
Absolutely. I got to university in 2002, University of Washington, and he was there as a defensive coordinator as well as a secondary coach. And Coach Snow is very, very aggressive. He's an Italian guy, so he's a man's man. But being a man's man and wanting to play man can get you in trouble sometimes. We're going to show you guys exactly how we can exploit this team as we approach this game.
All right, this is against the Texans last week here.
Yeah. So when you're playing man-to-man coverage, right, there's 2 ways in which you can take care of a stacked look. When I say stacked look, I mean this, right? We have a receiver right here. We have a receiver right here. You guys see how they're staggered? We run this set a lot of times, right? The Cowboys do. So what happens is this defender right here has 2 options. He could play inside shade and look at everything coming in, and this guy could play outside shade with everything looking in. So these guys want their eyes back here, right? That's the way you want to play things. So if this receiver decides to go in, this guy takes him. If this receiver decides to go out here, this guy takes him. So a lot of things going on there. They choose not to do that. Because they're taught by this man's man, they want to lock on and they want to stay with their guy. So you guys will see right here as the Texans have things mapped out, they know that this cornerback is going to stay locked on, right? So by him staying locked on, they know he's going to turn his back and go. Now, pause that right there for me. By doing that, who's going to stop this man right here? This guy right here.
You. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy right here. So he has a long ways to go. By them choosing not to take the in and out coverage, instead of just doing that, they want to stay locked on, and it causes them a lot of issues. As you see here, this guy's going. It turns all the backs of those defenders. As the Cowboys, we can exploit this as we approach this game because they are so intent in staying man-to-man.
You know what I envision there? CD Lamb on a little crossing.
Ooh, I like it.
Okay, Isaiah Stanback, I like it. And Mike McCarthy rejoins us in just a moment here on the Mike McCarthy Show. Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Inside the Globe Life studio, Bill Jones. Now with the head coach once again, let's talk about this offense a little bit. And one of the things that I just love the last couple of weeks especially is your ability to run the football. When you've got Zeke and Tony that are averaging basically 5.5 yards a carry, and it got to a point, it seemed like against Philadelphia, you were able to impose your will a little bit in that game, and it does so much for this offense.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been such a refreshing, start to the season and really running the football, against opponents where the unscouted looks are going to be 30-40% in the game. So I can't say enough about the players and the staff, the adjustments that they're making in game. The communication's been excellent, and we've been getting playing with good angles, but the run blocking unit starting up front they're just really getting after them, capturing the line of scrimmage, and Zeke and Tony are just particularly against Philadelphia did a great job running downhill. So very impressed with our performance, and definitely something we'd like to build off of.
All right, facing this Carolina defense, this is a fast defense, flies to the football. A lot of former first-round draft picks on this team. They've invested heavily on the defensive side of the ball in the last few years in the draft. What is it that impresses you the most about them?
Well, they're definitely playing with a lot of juice. You can see the athletic ability, coming off the edges. Obviously, the two big guys up in the middle too. I mean, Shaq is, number 7, their linebacker. He's been there for about 6-7 years now. I personally think he's their best player on defense. He makes it go. Extremely instinctive. And they got a couple injuries in the back end that we're watching closely this week to see how that sorts out. But it's a high-end scheme. They play with a lot of energy, and they're off to a heck of a start.
Yeah, J.C. Horn, of course, was hurt last week, was placed on IR. They made a trade for another first-round pick at cornerback in C.J. Henderson. We'll see his availability. But when you are facing a defense like I'll put it this way, are you more concerned with just how your offense is performing in games, or how much does it matter what they're doing defensively as far as you wanting to do what you want to do offensively?
I mean, frankly, that's really what Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's for. We'll recognize and have a good understanding of what we think they're going to do, what they've shown on film. You're still doing a lot of history and research based off of, they're relatively new staff, second year, so you're watching last year and some of the things, they've done in other places. So we'll recognize all that, but by the time we get to Friday, we'll focus in on how we want to play, how our approach, both in the run, the protection, and the pass. And then, frankly, we just have a very proactive mindset to adjustments, and it's worked for us for the first 3 weeks.
How about the way Dak has played? He played so well before the injury, but one thing that really strikes you about him is his command of this offense and the command of this team in general.
Well, he gives us this flexibility. I mean, because without him and the veterans up front, we wouldn't be able to go into the game with a proactive adjustment philosophy. Just the fact that we try to be more stringent in how we feel like we had to play. So we want to get in there. We want to take our shots. We want to get after these guys early and set the tempo. But at the end of the day, they're high in scheme. They're going to throw some things at us that we haven't seen yet on film, and our guys will do a great job adjusting accordingly.
All right, our Unsung Star of the Week when we come back here on the Mike McCarthy Show. Final couple of minutes of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, inside the Globe Life studio here at the Star. And time for one of my favorite features of the week. It's the Unsung Star of the Week. And I'm going to go, I've got a couple of possibilities. One was Cedric Wilson, and here's my unsung star, though. And I realize he goes to the Pro Bowl every year. But Tyron Smith is, when you're talking about a left tackle and you're not talking about whoever's going up against him, you don't hear a lot of talk about what he did in the game. But I think he graded out pretty well. And so Tyron Smith is my pick as the unsung star of the week.
I mean, that's always a good choice. I think when I think of Tyron, I think how it was growing up in my parents' home as a kid. When my father wasn't talking to me, I knew I was doing a good job.
There you go.
I don't even need to look over there. I don't even need to say anything to Tyron because he's always doing a good job. Now, he's just a constant. It's great to have him back, and he's put together 3 excellent games.
And he's not an unsung type personality to begin with. He's a quiet guy, and so I like to reward someone like that, even though he's got all the awards that he would want in his career. All right, how important is the crowd? You were there on Monday night and saw what the crowd did to impact that game, but again, a noon kickoff, it's a different deal.
I mean, really, that was our first game, for all the people that were new last year and new this year. So because it's just such an unbelievable stadium. That I think it was 90,000 people, and God, you just felt the crowd, and it was the heat was up, and it's just, just an incredible home field advantage. So whatever they had to do to get ready for that Monday night game. So if they have to start at 4 a.m., please do it because it's such an advantage for us. So AT&T was rocking, and hopefully we can get it going again.
So there you go, Sunday. Early church on Sunday. All right. Thanks to Mike McCarthy, and thanks to you for joining us here for the Mike McCarthy Show, and we will see you again next week.
They came rowdy, and we just need to come every game. I think that's our biggest advantage. You saw how many mistakes they made, offsides. It's because they was being loud out there, and I love it out there. We just got to keep bringing that energy.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by Ford. built for Texas, built for you. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. Geico, switch today and see all the ways you could save. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.